Jacob Marley was dead, 7 years dead on that Christmas Eve. His surviving partner, Ebeneezer Scrooge, never painted out old Marley's name on their sign. There it stood, years afterwards, above their warehouse door. Scrooge and Marley, counting house.
Scrooge was tight-fisted, a squeezing, grasping, covetous old sinner. Heat and cool had little effect on him, and no wind blew that was bitterer than he. No one ever stopped him on the streets to say, "My dear Scrooge, how are you? How can I help you? When will you come and see me?" But what did Scrooge care? That was the very thing he liked, to edge his way along all humanity, wanting all human sympathy to keep its distance.
Now on the best of all the good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was cold, bleak, biting weather. The door to his office was open, so that he might keep an eye upon his clerk, Bob Cratchit, who in a dismal little cell beyond was copying letters. Scrooge had a very small fire, but the clerk's fire was so much smaller that it looked like a single coal.
Just then, Scrooge's nephew strode into the shop.
Merry Christmas, Uncle! God save you!
Bah, humbug!
Christmas? A humbug? Surely you don't mean that, Uncle?
I do. Merry Christmas. What right have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then, what right have you to be unhappy? You're rich enough.
Bah!
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be? I live in a world of fools. Every idiot goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips. Should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart.
Uncle!
Keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
But you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it has ever done you, or me.
Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold in my pocket, I believe Christmas has done me good. And it will do me good. And I say God bless it.
Let me hear another sound from you, clerk, and you'll keep Christmas by losing your position. And you, quite a powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go to Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
Bah!
I ask nothing of you. Why can't we be friends?
Good afternoon.
Sorry to find you so stubborn. But I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. Merry Christmas, Uncle!
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year!
Good afternoon. It's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week. A wife, family. Talk about a Merry Christmas. He's a fool.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Scrooge and Marley shall be. Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge and Mr. Marley?
The Marley's been gone these 7 years. 7 years ago, very not.
Surely his generosity is well represented by his surviving partner. At this season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, it is especially desirable that we make some provision for the poor and destitute. Many are in want of common necessities.
Are there no prisons? No houses?
Of course, sir, I wish I could say there were not.
I'm afraid there's something occurred to close them.
They scarcely furnish Christians here. A few of us support the trade plant by the course of meat and drink for means of war. I shall put you down for
Nothing! I don't make myself merry at Christmas time, and I can't afford to make idle people merry either. I support prisons and poor houses with my taxes. They cost enough. Those who are badly off should go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they'd better do it and decrease the population. Good afternoon, ladies.
The hour of closing the counting house arrived.
You want all day off tomorrow, I suppose.
Well, if it's quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. It's not bad. If I were to stop half a shilling of your pay for it, you'd think yourself wrong. Yeah, you would think me wronged when I pay a day's wages for no work.
But sir, it's only once a year.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Yes, sir. And Mary, good day, sir.
Scrooge walked home with a growl. He lived in a gloomy suite of rooms, even more gloomy because nobody lived in them but Scrooge.
Now it is a fact that there was nothing unusual about the knocker on his door, except that it was very large. But Scrooge, having placed his key in the lock of the door, saw in the knocker not a knocker, but Jacob Marley's face. Scrooge placed his hand tremblingly back upon the key, turned it, and rushed in. He fastened the door behind him and walked quickly upstairs to his bedchamber.
He closed the bedchamber door behind him and locked himself in, double-locked, which was not his custom. He put on his dressing gown and his nightcap and sat before his fire, a very low fire indeed. As he looked about, his glance happened to fall upon a bell, a disused bell, that hung in the room.
Now, it was with great astonishment that, as he looked, this bell began to ring. It rung so softly at first that it scarcely made a sound, but soon it began to ring loudly, and so did every bell in the house.
Then they stopped as one. The bells were succeeded by a clanking deep down below, as if someone were dragging a heavy chain. The chains came with a low, wailing moan. Scrooge heard the noises much louder, coming straight for the stairway, straight to his door.
Humbug still. I won't believe it.
His color changed, though. Then, without a pause, a chained specter came straight through his heavy door, right into the room in front of his eyes.
Who are you?
Ask rather who I was.
Who were you, then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley.
Marley! What is your spirit? What do you have? Why do you trouble me?
I dragged the chain I forged in life, forged link by link, and girded of my own free will. Or do you know, rather, the weight of the chain you bear?
No.
It was as full and as heavy as this, 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since.
Tell me more, Jacob. Speak comfort to me, Martha.
I have nothing, but mark me. In life, my spirit never moved beyond our counting house, our money-changing homes. Now an eternity of weary journeys lie before me.
You're a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind should have been my business. Charity, mercy, and common welfare. At this time of year, I suffer most. Why did I go through life with my eyes turned from that blessed Christmas star? Were there no poor homes to which its light might have conducted me?
But, Jacob,
Hear me, Ebeneezer Scrooge!
I will.
You yet have a chance of escaping my fate. You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Spirits?
Without their visits, you shall never shun the path I tread. Expect the first tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1. The second on the next night at the same time. And the third on the third night, when the last stroke of 12 ceases to vibrate. Look to see me no more, Ebeneezer, but for your sake, remember my visit.
The apparition moved backward, and at every step he took, the bedchamber window raised itself a little. When the spectre had reached it, it was wide open.
At the raising of Marley's hand, Scrooge became aware of the confused noises in the air. sounds of lamentation and regret, sorrowful wailings. Trembling, Scrooge went to the window, desperate in his curiosity. He looked out. The air was filled with phantoms, wandering in restless haste and moaning as they went along. Their misery was, clearly, that they wished to intercede in human matters for good, but had lost the power to forever. Each wore chains like Molly's ghost. Then the phantoms disappeared into the mist. Scrooge flew back to the door where the ghost had entered it. The door was double locked, just as he had fastened it. The bolts were undisturbed.
From the emotion of the visit, or fatigue of the day, or his glimpse of the invisible world, Scrooge went straight to bed, without undressing, and fell asleep on the instant.
Scrooge awoke with the first stroke of a nearby church bell.
1. It was past 2 when I went to bed. It was impossible that I slept through a whole day. And to another night.
Then Scrooge remembered the ghost's words.
A visitation when the bell tolls 1.
Lights flashed up in the room, and the curtains of his bed were flung back.
Who? What are you?
The ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
The past of Ebeneezer Scrooge.
What brings you here?
Your welfare. Take heed. Rise and walk with me.
Please! I'll fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand there, and you will be upheld in more than this.
They stood instantly upon an open country road. The darkness and mist had vanished. It was a clear, cold winter day, with snow upon the ground.
Good heavens! I was born in this place. I was a boy here.
You remember the way?
Remember it? I could walk blindfolded.
Strange to have forgotten it for so many years.
Okay, so they they walked on the path and they came to a small boarding school.
The school is not quite deserted. A lonely child is left there alone, neglected by his friends. You know his name.
Yes. Poor boy.
Watch.
I've come to bring you home, dear brother, dear Ebeneezer, to bring you home.
Home, little fan?
Yes, home for good. Home forever and ever. Father's so much kinder now that home's like heaven. You're never to come back here, but to have the merriest time in all the world.
A delicate creature, your sister, whom a breath might have withered, yet her heart was full.
So it was.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children?
1 child.
True. Your nephew?
Yes.
What's the matter?
Nothing.
Something, I think.
I'd like to say a word or two to my nephew just now, my clerk, Bob Cratchit.
My time goes short. Watch.
Again Scrooge saw himself. He was now older, a man in the prime of his life, but his drawn face already reflected his grief.
Ebeneezer! What matter to you, so little Ebeneezer? Has another love taken my place?
What love?
Gold.
Is the fairness of the world. There's nothing that punishes so severely as poverty. That it condemns one's poverty.
That's all you care for. There isn't room for me.
Come now, I've changed towards you. Have I?
Yes. You were another man once.
I was a boy.
Tell me, would you still try to win me?
You think I wouldn't?
I believe you weigh everything by profit. You wouldn't choose a poor girl. Goodbye, Ebeneezer.
Wait. Helen. Please. I loved her. Spirit, show me no more.
One shadow more.
No more! I don't want to see it!
Watch.
They were in another time and place, a street.
Ellen, he's come back. Who is he?
That's the man she marries.
I saw an old friend of yours.
Who?
Yes.
How can I? No, wait, not Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge it was. As I passed his office window, I couldn't help seeing him. His partner lies at the point of death, I hear. And there he sat, all alone. Quite alone in the world, I believe.
Yes, quite alone.
Spirit, take me back to my rooms. Haunt me no longer.
Scrooge was exhausted. He barely found his way to his bed before he sank into a deep sleep. When Scrooge woke, he knew that the bell was again near the toll of 1. Now, being prepared for almost anything, he was hardly prepared for nothing. Yet when the bell tolled, no shadow appeared to him. He was taken with a fit of trembling. At last, Scrooge began to think that this ghost might be in the adjoining room.
Ebeneezer Scrooge! Come in! No, come in! I am the ghost of Christmas present. You have never honored my brothers and sisters, have you?
Afraid I haven't. Have you any brothers and sisters, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
Tremendous family. Spirit, take me where you will. I went forth last night, under compulsion. I learned a lesson. Teach me more, if you can.
Touch my robe.
At once, they stood in the streets on Christmas morning, where the people made a rough but brisk and not at all unpleasant music. Perhaps it was the pleasure the Spirit had in showing off his power, or else it was his own kindly nature and his sympathy with all poor men that led him straight to Scrooge's clerks. For there he went. On the threshold, the Spirit stooped to bless Bob Cratchit's dwelling.
It's like the bakers, we smelled the goose.
Oh, goose! What can be keeping your father in Tiny Tim? And Martha wasn't late last Christmas by half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
Martha, you're such a goose.
My dear, how late you are. Never mind. Sit by the fire and warm yourself.
Merry Christmas.
No, Father's coming.
Hi, Martha, hi!
Why, where's Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming. Not coming on Christmas Day.
Here I am, Papa.
There's our girl.
And how does he behave in church?
Oh, as good as gold. Somehow, he gets more thoughtful, sitting by himself so much. Coming home, he told me that he hoped the people saw him at church. He said it might be nice for them to remember on Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Our Tiny Tim is growing strong and hardy.
Just then, the children rushed back in with the goose. Such a buzzsaw, you would have thought a goose the rarest of all birds. There never was such a goose, they thought, small though it was. Yet everyone had enough, and the youngest Cratchits in particular was steeped in sage and onion to the eyebrows. At last, the dinner was done, and Bob served the hot punch.
A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone!
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see an empty chair in the corner, and a crutch without an owner. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No. And Spirit, say he will be spared.
Why spare him? Let him die and decrease the population.
I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day!
A fine day to help such a hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge.
My dear, Christmas Day!
I'll drink to his health for your sake, and for the day's, not for his. Long life to him, Merry Christmas, and a Happy New Year.
The children drank after her, but there was no heartiness in it. Scrooge was the ogre of the family. The mention of his name cast a dark shadow on the party. But by and by, they had songs and games, and gaiety reigned again.
Come.
Scrooge and the Spirit walked along the streets. The brightness of the roaring fires in kitchens, parlors, and all sorts of rooms was wonderful. It was a great surprise to Scrooge, while watching the snapping flickering, to hear a familiar laugh. The laugh of his nephew.
He said Christmas was a humbug. As I live, he believed it too.
Well, that's more shame for him.
He's a comical old fellow, that's for sure. Not so pleasant as he might be, but I've nothing to say against him.
He's so rich.
What of it? His wealth is of no use to him. He doesn't make himself or anybody else comfortable with it.
Well, for my sake, I have no patience with him.
Oh, I have. I'm sorry for him. Who suffers by his ill will? Himself, always. He takes it into his head to dislike us, and he won't come to dine with us. And at what consequence? He loses a few precious moments, which certainly wouldn't harm him. I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not. He may humbug Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it. If it only puts it in his mind to leave his poor clerk £50, that's something. But come, our party is young.
Here we come a-wassailing among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to your wassail too. And God bless you and send you a happy new year. And God send you a happy new year.
The scene passed off in a breath, and Scrooge and the spirit were once again upon their travels. Many homes they visited, but always with a happy end. The spirit stood beside sick beds, and they were cheerful. Besides poverty, and it was rich. In poorhouse, hospital, and jail, in misery's every refuge, the spirit left his blessing, and taught Scrooge his lessons.
My time grows near.
Are Scrooge's life so short?
My life ends tonight at midnight, and even now, you can hear the bell chime out 11:03. But before I go, there's one thing you must see.
Spirit, are they yours?
They are man's. The boy is ignorance, and the girl is poverty. Beware of them both, but most of all, beware of the boy. For on his brow I see written, Doom.
Have they no resource? No refuge?
Are there no prisons or poorhouses?
The bell tolled a slow, solemn 12.
You are the ghost of Christmas yet to come. Show me the shadows of the future. Spirit, I fear you more than any spectre that I have seen. I know your purpose is good to me. I have to live to be another man. Will you not speak to me? Lead on then.
They entered the city, the exchange district. The spirit pointed to a little knot of merchants, and Scrooge moved closer to listen.
No, I don't know much about it. Either way, I only know he's dead.
Well, when did that happen?
Last night, I believe.
Well, I thought he'd never die.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. He left it all to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
Well, I'll wager it to be a cheap funeral. Upon my life, and I've never heard of anybody going to it. Say, why don't we make a party and volunteer?
I don't mind going, if there's a lunch provided.
I suppose I'm the most disinterested one, but I'll offer to go if anyone else will.
This is the exchange district. I don't see myself among the merchants. Why, Spirit?
The fountain led Scrooge into an obscure part of town where he had never been before, but he recognized its ill reputation. They came upon an unkempt man just as an old woman slunk into his shop.
Rag seller, have a look at this lot.
You know, I've always been too nice to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine. A way to ruin myself. Let's see what you got. What do you call these?
Bed curtains?
you took him down while he was lying there dead, rings and all?
I do, and why not?
You would want to make your fortune.
I won't hold back my hand when I can get something in it by reaching out. Not for the sake of a man like him.
His blankets?
Whose else's? He ain't likely to take cold without them.
He didn't die of anything catching, did he?
Don't worry about that. I ain't so fond of his company that I'd loiter about him if he did. You can look through that shirt till your eyes ache, but you won't find a hole in it. It's the finest he'd had. They'd have wasted it too if it hadn't been for me.
Wasted it?
They was planning to bury him in it.
Come on, I'll make your settlement.
Ghouls. Spirit. Tell me who it was that spoke of. Was it the same man as the merchant's conversation?
The ghost conveyed him to a churchyard. Here, the wretched man, whose name he dreaded to learn, lay beneath the ground. The spirit stood among the graves and pointed down to one, and Scrooge read the name upon the stone.
Ebeneezer Scrooge! No! Am I that man? Spirit, hear me! Not the man I was! Why show me this if I best on hope? Tell me that I've been changed in these shadows by an altered life. Tell me I've expunged away the writing on the stones. Please, Spirit. Please. Please.
The bed was his own, the room was his own, and best and happiest of all, the time before him was his own to make amends in.
I live in the past, the present and the future. Jacob Marley, heaven and Christmas time be praised for this. They're not torn down. My curtains aren't torn down. Rings and all. They're here. I'm here. I don't know what to do. As light as a feather. As merry as a schoolboy. Merry Christmas to everyone. Wait. Don't know what day it is. How long have I been among the spirits? Don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind. I'd rather be a baby.
Running to his window, Scrooge looked out and saw a girl in her Sunday clothes.
What's today?
What, sir?
What's today, my fine girl?
Today? Why Christmas Day, sir?
It's Christmas Day. Haven't missed it. Spirits have done all in one night. Of course, they can do anything they like. Do you know the butcher shop? Next street down the corner.
I should hope I do.
Intelligent girl. Remarkable girl. Do you know where they sold the prize turkey? The big one.
What, the one that's as big as me?
Yes, my sweet. The one as big as you.
It's hanging there right now.
It is? Go and buy it. No, I'm serious. Tell them to bring it here, and I'll tell them where to deliver it. Come back with the butcher. I'll give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes. I'll give you half a crown. Sent for 12 cratchits. I'll never guess who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim.
The girl, the butcher, and the turkey were back in something less than 5 minutes, were paid and paid for, and sent off, hired by Mr. Scrooge to Bob Cratchit's. Shaving was not easy for Mr. Scrooge that morning, for shaving requires attention, even if you don't dance while you're at it. He dressed himself in his best and got out in the streets. By this time, people were pouring forth, and Scrooge, walking with his hands held behind him, greeted everyone with a Merry Christmas and a delighted smile. At length, he came to the ladies who had visited his shop the day before.
My dear madam, how do you do? I hope you succeeded yesterday. Merry Christmas to you.
Mr. Scrooge?
Beg your pardon, my behavior at the shop. You have the goodness, won't you, to put me down for?
Lord bless me. Are you sure you wish to donate that much, sir?
Not a penny less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you.
God bless you, Mr. Scrooge, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
In the afternoon, he turned towards his nephew's house. He approached the door a dozen times, it seemed, before he had the courage to go up and knock, but he made a dash and didn't.
Yes? Uncle Scrooge?
Merry Christmas. Very Merry Christmas. Accept your hospitality, you still have me. Will you let me in?
Let him in? It's a wonder he didn't shake his arm off. Mr. Scrooge felt at home within 5 minutes. It was a wonderful party with wonderful games and a wonderful happiness. And Mr. Scrooge was the happiest of all. The next morning, Scrooge came to the office early, hoping to catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. The clock struck 9, no Bob. 1/4 past, no Bob. Bob Cratchit was a full 18 minutes and a half behind his time. When he crept in, his hat already off, pen in his hand, he started writing as if he was trying to overtake 9 o'clock. So Mr. Scrooge, in the best impression he could of his former gruff voice, spoke to him.
What do you mean by coming in at this time of day?
I'm very sorry, sir. I'm behind my time.
Yes, I believe you are. Step this way.
It's only once a year, sir, and it won't be repeated. We were making rather merry yesterday, even with a turkey, which was nice.
I won't stand for this sort of thing anymore. And therefore, Bob, I'm about to raise your salary. I'm going to help you and your struggling family too. Get the very best surgeons for Tiny Tim. In fact, we'll discuss your affairs this very morning over a hot cup of Christmas punch. Come with me, Bob Cratchit.
And so Scrooge was better than Troy. He did it all and more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was like a second father. Scrooge became as good a man, as good a friend, and as good a master as anyone in this good old world ever knew. Or any other good old town, city, or village.
And it was always said of him that he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive so possessed the knowledge. May that truly be said of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone!
Wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin, good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.